So the quarterfinals are upon us, and it's France versus Morocco that we're discussing this evening with Mustafa Segodi. My name is Afolabi. Welcome to the show.
Okay, Morocco is one of those teams that whether they win the World Cup or not, nobody wants to play them. If you're Norway, you don't want to play them. If you're Argentina, you don't want to play them. If you're England, you don't want to play them. Morocco now is what I call their wildcat. Win, they will always win or draw so far in this World Cup. And when they win, a lot of times when they win, they don't play well. So that's what makes our Morocco dangerous, even when they don't play well. They win, what was it, 3-0
Yeah,
last game? Three
yeah.
zero, and they didn't even play
Yeah,
well. Three
against
zero, they didn't
Canada.
play well. Then they played well against Brazil, but they drew. So the thing about Morocco is you don't know win, draw, or lose. The game is gonna be tight. They play well all the time. They're fearless. The true soul of that team is Hakimi. Hakimi doesn't care. Hakimi has a sexual assault thing. He gave his money to his mother to get his wife. That's a bad boy. That motherfucker don't care. If Hakimi gets a red card and he goes home, he won't cry. What I'm trying to say is this team is brave. So let's look at what's going to happen. We know France is the favorite. So like I said, even though France is the favorite to win it. If I were the French, I would rather meet Norway. I'd rather meet England. I wouldn't want to meet Morocco because Morocco is like a boxer. You're going to have to really work hard to beat them. So this is going to be a classic matchup where France uses its speed and their speed is going to be neutralized by Morocco's mid block. Morocco is not going to let France just go to the wings and use pace against them. They're going to have a mid block. They're going to let France have the possession. But once they get the ball, they're going to move from a mid block to a moderately high line where Hakimi is going to come forward. Diaz and Hakimi are going to overload the right. Mazraoui will have the back. He'll probably move to the center. Then you've got other guys like yeah. So what this guy's not playing then the number 9. What's the guy's name?
Right,
Sabiri not
Sabari.
playing.
Liberia, I
Is
think
he
he's
out?
injured.
He's injured. So he's
Yeah,
not playing. And in the midfield, they've got the Ayanue and Budai, the two 18-year-old guys who are
right,
going to
yeah.
be solid. Yeah, but the thing is that no matter what, we know that as good as Morocco is, they can neutralize France a little bit. But with France having Barcola, Olise, and Mbappe up front, or whether they have Doué, they're going to, no matter what, those guys are going to stretch when they're in an attack, when they're in the last third of the pitch, they're going to find ways to stretch Morocco's defense. That's just because they're that good. It doesn't mean they'll win, but they're going to stretch their defense and find spaces to score. The question is, how many opportunities will they have? France has not met a team like Morocco, which has good midfield or press. They haven't met a team. So even though France will have possession, they're not going to have as many opportunities to score as we've seen in other games, but they will have opportunities. But the next question, though, is can France stop Morocco's counterattack? Like, once again, I said, you've got Diaz, Hakimi. Those guys are going to come forward. They're going to come forward, and they drop back quick enough so that France can't exploit the counterattack. Those guys are going to also stretch France's defense too. This is going to be a close game, and because of the way both of these teams stretch each other, I'm predicting it's going to be tactical. They're not going to play open. Both of these teams are not going to play open, and that's where France becomes dangerous because everything may be quiet. Then in 67 minutes, uh, what's his name will score. Mbappe will just come and score. I think Morocco will try to be a little bit more open, but I think they're going to be also tactical, and it's going to come down to which team has the most class at the end. I'm going to predict that it's going to be France 2-1. But then again, I'm going to stress this is a matchup. These guys match up well against France. Morocco, mid block, very well compact. They're able to they're able to transition from defense to attack. And when they counterattack, they're able to drop back again. So they're a disciplined team. They're going to be the most defensively sound and the most uh, compact midfield that France has met. The only thing is that France has a bunch of superstars. Like a magician like Olisa, he can open up any defense. So like I said, I'm going to give the slight edge to France 2-1. What are your thoughts, Falabi?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the key word here is discipline. The Moroccan team are a very cohesive unit and they are very compact when they are defending. The way the team is set up, every single player is a hybrid player. They have a hybrid role.
Yeah.
When they are without the ball, they just, condense themselves into a very cohesive unit, compact, with very small gaps in between the players. They don't allow line breaking passes in between them, and they just squeeze the opposition. And when they have the ball, they try and outpossess, the opposition. I went through the statistics of the last time they met with France 4 years ago, and they had the lion's share of the possession. So I think in this game too, Morocco are going to try and outpossess France. They're not going to play too high, but they're going to try and outpossess France. And France, on the other hand, they know that they're not as cohesive and possession heavy as Morocco. They're going to try and transition the ball quickly from the defense to the wide areas because that's where France is strong. They're going to try
Yeah.
and send the ball quickly to Bakola and Kylian Mbappe. The only area where I think Morocco might be vulnerable is the space being vacated by Ashraf Hakimi because he has a tendency to want to overlap and join the attack. So I think he has to do this cautiously.
But yes, I have a question for you because
Yeah.
it's usually Mbappe who plays the number 9. Are you sure that this is the proper setup? Because
It's
Olise usually plays on the right,
it's
and
a
Mbappe usually.
I
Yeah.
watched two of their games and I noticed that Olise and Dembele kept swapping positions. The only person that holds his position is Kylian Mbappe. The three of them, Bakola, Dembele, and Olise, they keep changing positions.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't
they're
matter
very
because they
fluid.
change positions anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, they're very fluid.
but
So
but but
Dembele is nominally their number
Olise
9.
tends to play better though. He tends to set up more assists when he's on the right.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
but anyway, it doesn't matter. Those guys are interchangeable anyway. This what is chat Afolabi, chat Afolabi, not chat.
So
Okay,
I feel
All
I
right, take off
feel
the picture, but you keep talking. Yeah,
I feel
take it off.
Morocco is going to give them a very, very difficult game because when they were analyzing all the quarterfinals, they said if there was one team in the quarterfinal that nobody wants to play, it's Morocco. So it's not going to be
Yeah,
easy for France at all. And like
Afolabi,
you
take the
rightly
screen
said,
off. Take the screen off. Yeah,
okay,
go ahead.
like you rightly said, I think it's going to be a very slim victory just because of the fact that France has a lot of X factors in their team, not because they are
Yeah.
better as a team,
And they
just
might have
because of the star players.
slightly better bench. Yeah,
Of
slightly.
course, they have a deeper bench.
But that
Absolutely.
doesn't mean if Morocco wins tomorrow, I won't be surprised.
Yeah, I
So
won't be
don't say that
surprised.
we're just make. But if they tell me to bet money on it, I'll bet money on France. All right. What are your thoughts, Seguri? Yeah.
No, I see a very, very tight game, a very cagey game, but I think the most important player is going to be Olise and Ibrahim Diaz because in breaking those tight spaces, breaking the lines in those tight spaces, you're going to need a player like Olise who can break any team. But also, I see France will be giving Morocco the ball tomorrow because they'll also want to use the space behind the defense where Hakimi overlap. So the two defensive midfielder of Morocco, they're going to play a very, very important role tomorrow to cover up for
The
for
pivot.
for Hakimi because
Mm.
Hakimi likes going forward so much, and then uh, France would like to utilize that space behind the defense because they have so much pace up front with Mbappe, Douhe, and Olise. So the key here is going to be how the rest defense of Morocco is able to cover up for
Yeah.
Hakimi, and
That's
when
why
Hakimi
Mizrahi is
goes
going to stay back. He's going to stay back. And sometimes if Mizrahi has to do it, he may have to drift to the right if Hakimi's not there. You understand what I'm
definitely,
saying? If they don't respect the
definitely,
left, he may have to drift. And if he drifts to the right, that means one of those midfielders is going to have to drop back too. You see, that's how
yeah.
football. That's why football is no longer about where you're in your position anymore, man.
Yeah.
This shit is complex, man. All right, any last thoughts,
But
Sigodi? Sigodi, last thoughts. Yeah.
no, I think Morocco is going to take this one by 2-1. The reason being is because when you look at Morocco, it depends which team they are playing. When they play a certain team, like you see when they were playing Canada in the first half, they were on the level of Canada. When they play Brazil, they go to the level of Brazil. When they play Norway, they go to the level of Norway. So I
Yeah.
think tomorrow they'll reach the level of France. And my reason being is because now they have a finisher, a real finisher for Ibrahim Diaz. I
Yeah,
think it's going to be a tight game, but
he
I
also
think
scratched his
Morocco
knee.
will edge it
Yeah. Yeah. So
because
actually,
those
go ahead.
Moroccans are prepared to play any team in this tournament. What I've seen
Oh,
with
they're
them, they're
ready.
prepared to go to any level with any team in this
They're ready.
tournament. So that's why I edge it to Morocco.
They're ready. I hope Mbappe boyfriend is helping him tonight. You guys know that Mbappe's girlfriend was trans. Did you know that?
Wow.
No,
Oh,
seriously. He dated a guy that was a woman. I'm serious. Go and look it up. So maybe that one will help
oh,
him.
geez.
That crazy guy,
Yeah.
man. Let me stop. Anyway, so last thoughts of Falabi.
Yeah, and I wanted to also say that France defensive midfielder Aurelien Tchouameni is sort of injured, so it's touch
Oh
and go.
yeah.
And if he doesn't play that game, he's a colossal player for France. It's going to give Morocco an advantage because,
Morocco will win that midfield battle because
yeah, Morocco will win
France
that
hasn't been
midfield
relying
battle.
on the midfield. They don't
Yeah,
have any possession. They don't have any
yeah.
creative.
So the only guy that is their safety valve is injured. So I think they'll win the midfield battle. So that's another important factor for Morocco. But like Segodi said, I won't be surprised if Morocco take this one. And if they hand Morocco the initiative, like they've been handing African teams the initiative, I don't think Morocco will be foolish enough to throw it away, like Egypt and
I hope. Is it true that the referee is Argentina?
Yeah, all of them.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. So I do your job, referee. Let's have a Morocco Argentina World Cup final. All right, take us out.
Okay, it's been another brilliant show. We've been discussing France and Morocco in the first quarterfinals of the World Cup. Mustafa, Segodi, Afolabi will be back again with another World Cup story.
I'll see you guys tomorrow for the post match. Okay.
All right.
All right.
That was a good one. Yeah.